Have you ever had the feeling that your home is always full, even after a thorough cleaning? Or that impression that no matter how much you organize, the clutter returns within a few days? This could be a sign that you're surrounded by far more things than you truly need. The truth is, most of us live with excess, and that excess goes far beyond physical objects. It weighs down our routines, our time, and even our mental well-being. I'm the facilitator, and today I want to show you 10 clear signs that you have more stuff than you should. There's a high chance you'll relate to at least 5 of these signs, so stay with me and let's get straight to the point. The first sign that you have more than you need is when you keep objects just in case you might need them one day. This is a classic trap of accumulation. You come across something you haven't used in months, but you think, better keep it, I might need it someday. But that day never comes. You hold on to cables for devices you don't even own anymore, clothes that haven't fit in years, duplicate kitchen tools that never get used. Meanwhile, your space fills up with things that do nothing but take up room. When we keep something for a hypothetical reason, we're not being practical. We're being attached. And that attachment is one of the biggest enemies of minimalism and organization. The truth is simple. If you haven't used something in the last 6 months and it holds no real emotional value, chances are you'll never use it. The second sign is when you feel the need to buy organizers instead of reducing what you own. This is one of the clearest yet most overlooked signs. The organization industry thrives on selling solutions for a problem that often shouldn't exist in the first place: the sheer quantity of stuff. If you find yourself buying boxes, baskets, extra shelves, or new furniture just to better organize your belongings, maybe the issue isn't a lack of space. Maybe it's an excess of objects. Organization is important, of course, but when your solution to clutter is to buy more storage items, you're only masking the problem, not solving it. And here's a thought-provoking question. Do you really need more space? Or do you actually need fewer things? The third sign that you have more than you need is when you forget what you have stored away. This happens often and is one of the most obvious signs of excess. How many times have you bought something only to later discover you already had the same item hidden in the back of a closet? Or found clothes with the tags still on months later? When this happens, it means your items have lost visibility and relevance, and that only happens when there's more than you can manage. A functional home is one where everything has a clear purpose and is within reach when needed. If you forget you even own something, it's because that object has already lost its reason for being there. The fourth sign shows up when cleaning your home takes up too much time. Of course, every home needs regular maintenance, but if cleaning and organizing have become endless tasks, excess might be to blame. Every additional object represents extra minutes in your routine. Something else to clean, to store, to move around. Clutter turns home maintenance into a never-ending job, and you feel as though things are never truly in order. A minimalist home, on the other hand, is easier and faster to maintain precisely because every item there has a reason to exist. And if you spend hours trying to tidy up and still feel like the mess comes back, maybe the problem isn't a lack of time. Maybe it's too much stuff. Pay attention to that. The fifth sign is when you feel guilty about donating or throwing something away. This is one of the most emotional and profound signs. The guilt may stem from the fact that the item was expensive, that it was a gift, or that you feel you'd be wasting something. But keeping something out of guilt doesn't bring value, it brings weight. Objects that have already served their purpose don't need to keep taking up space in your life. The money has already been spent, and the gift already fulfilled its purpose the moment it was given. Clinging to guilt keeps you tied to the past and prevents you from living more lightly in the present. Remember, if something is no longer useful to you, it might be useful to someone else. And that's not waste. It's liberation. The sixth sign is when you have to move objects out of the way to access others. You know those times you want to grab something from a cabinet but need to remove 3 other things first? Or when you open a drawer and everything is so crammed that you can't even see what's inside? That's a clear indicator of excess. When items are in each other's way, they stop making your life easier and start making it harder. Your home should serve you, not the other way around. If retrieving a simple item has become a complicated task, it's a sign that you have more things than you should. The seventh sign appears when you avoid certain areas of your home because they're always messy. It could be that closet you haven't opened in months because you're afraid of what you'll find, or that room that turned into a storage space for everything you don't know where else to put. These spaces are visible symptoms of accumulation. They represent postponed decisions and the struggle to let go. When you avoid facing the mess, you're postponing not just tidying up, but a mindset shift. And as long as these corners remain out of control, they'll continue to serve as silent reminders of how much excess is controlling you. The eighth sign is when you buy things you already own because you don't know where they are. This happens when the clutter is so overwhelming that you lose track of what you have. You need an item, can't find it, and end up buying another. Months later, you discover you had 2 or 3 identical ones. This isn't just a sign of disorganization, it's a direct symptom of accumulation. When we only keep what we truly need, we know exactly where everything is. When we have too much, everything blends together and gets lost. Besides taking up space, this behavior also affects your wallet and perpetuates a cycle of waste. How many duplicate items do you have in your home right now? The ninth sign is when your home makes you feel anxious instead of relaxed. Home should be the place where you find peace, but when it's filled with unnecessary things, it can have the opposite effect. Physical and visual excess creates a constant sense of disorder, even if everything is technically organized. The human mind responds to its environment, and crowded spaces generate mental overload. If you walk into your home and feel weighed down, restless, or even too tired to think about tidying up, maybe the problem isn't your motivation, but the sheer amount of stuff around you. A visually lighter home often translates into a lighter mind as well. And finally, the 10th sign, you struggle to decide what to keep and what to let go of. This is perhaps the most revealing sign of all, when every decision about what stays and what goes turns into a mental battle. It's a sign that your attachment to excess is deeply rooted. You start coming up with justifications for everything. It might be useful one day. It was expensive. I have memories attached to it. Gradually, this difficulty in deciding turns into paralysis. The truth is, when something is truly important or useful, the decision is easy. What holds you back is what has already lost its purpose, but continues to take up space because you're afraid to let it go. And that fear of letting go is precisely what prevents you from creating space for the new. Now tell me, how many of these signs did you recognize in yourself? 2, 5, all of them? Whatever the number, simply acknowledging them is already a huge step toward a lighter life. And here's an important reminder. Minimalism isn't about having as little as possible. It's about having only what truly matters. Every item you let go of is a piece of time and energy you reclaim. Every cleared space is mental room that opens up. Every decision to declutter is a conscious choice to prioritize what truly has value. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs made you reflect the most about your own home? And what will be the first space you revisit after watching this video? Write it here in the comments. Let's share ideas and experiences, because often it's by hearing someone else's story that we find the courage to change our own. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and give it a like to receive more content like this. A big hug and see you soon.